Hey everyone, I'm Sam with Rokoko, and I am psyched to announce the release of Rokoko Studio version 1.17. We have done a lot of performance updates across the software, revamped our actor profile system, updated the Wi-Fi setup process to be more streamlined, and finally included the ability to export meshes directly from Rokoko Studio. Let's dive in and take a look. The first big difference with this update is the performance improvements and optimization. Rokoko Studio will now run between 30 and 50% lighter depending on what part of the software you are using. The motion library, for example, will use much less processing power when you hover and preview animations. While most of these performance improvements exist in the background, the end result is Rokoko Studio will run much faster and smoother. This is especially true when running Rokoko Studio on tablet computers like the Surface Pro series. In addition to this performance boost, we've added some new features to the actor profile system. Let's create a new profile to check it out. The actor profile contains the measurements for any actor who may be wearing a suit, and it's important that these measurements are accurate. We'll name our actor, select the color, and then select the body type. 1 is for a male body type and 2 is for female. Like in previous versions of Rokoko Studio, the most important measurement is the actor's height. However, if you want to get more granular, you can expand out the other measurements. If you hover over each one, Rokoko Studio now gives more detail on exactly how to measure each part of the body. Because you are measuring bone length, this can be a tricky process, but these new guides will help you take the measurements accurately. We've also revamped our Wi-Fi setup system. Here I am in an empty project, and I'll connect my Smartsuit Pro to my computer. When we click on the pop-up, we'll see this screen with our hardware displayed in green. If you have multiple suits or trackers for virtual production, they will all appear listed here. We can then just quickly add our previous Wi-Fi settings by clicking Reuse Wi-Fi Setup. If we still want to make changes, we can, but most of the time you will just be able to click Reuse and you should be good to go. If you have multiple suits connected, you can select and deselect specific hardware by clicking on them if you want to tweak settings individually. Another change is that you used to update firmware from this panel as well. We have split off that functionality from Wi-Fi setup. Now, if your hardware needs a firmware update, a pop-up will appear in the top right corner to inform you of the update, and you will be able to update firmware by clicking on that pop-up. Finally, I'm excited to show off that you can now export a body mesh alongside your mocap animation data. Here I am in the sample project. Let's take a look at this samurai animation. If we right-click on our take and select Export, we now have this body mesh export option. This is useful for a variety of reasons. Now you can export actual geometry alongside the animation. In particular, this makes it easier to use Rokoko animations in Unreal Engine. For use in Unreal, we also recommend using the Mixamo skeleton instead of the default Newton. For more information on using this motion capture data in Unreal, you can check out our tutorials on YouTube or at rokoko.com. I'll export an FBX for this example. If we find that file and check it out in our FBX previewer, we can see that the actual body mesh has been exported alongside our skeleton. I hope this video has been helpful in walking you through some of the new features of this version of Rokoko Studio. We'll have full release notes down in the description below, and if you ever have questions, feel free to put them in the comments or reach out to us directly at support@rokoko.com. We have a lot of exciting news coming up, so stay tuned for updates and have fun creating with Rokoko Studio. Thanks everyone.